Let's speak now to our royal correspondent, Simon Vigar, who's been going through all that detail for us and is at Buckingham Palace this afternoon. Simon, a lot of activity will take place on Monday, won't it?
Yeah, a lot of detail, Dan. Here is some of it. I was in a briefing with the Duke of Norfolk, who is the Earl Marshal. He's in charge of all major ceremonial events. All of these plans, the Queen was consulted with all of these plans. So let's go through some of the major timings. At 10:44 on Monday, the state gun carriage drawn by 142 ratings from the Royal Navy will leave Westminster Hall with the coffin and head to Westminster Abbey. That gun carriage used in all state funerals. There, the picture is from Churchill's funeral. And at 11 o'clock, the funeral will begin at Westminster Abbey. One of the readings given by the Prime Minister. The sermon will be delivered by the Archbishop of Canterbury. No guidance today on when any members of the royal family will deliver a eulogy, but they didn't at Prince Philip's funeral. We simply don't know yet. At 11:55, the last post will be played, and at the end of that, that's when the 2-minute silence will begin around the nation and around the Commonwealth, and then the service will be over and the great procession will begin, the reverse of the route yesterday really, the great funeral procession from the Abbey up to Hyde Park Corner and Wellington Arch. And then at 1 o'clock the coffin will be transferred from the gun carriage to the state hearse, which we saw for the first time on Tuesday night as it came from Northolt to Westminster. So the state hearse will drive to Windsor. We don't know the precise route yet, but at 3:10 at Windsor, it will set off on the final journey into the castle along the Long Walk there, and that will give people, thousands of people, a chance to pay their respects from 3:10 onwards. That's the same route into the castle that Harry and Meghan used for their wedding 4 years ago. Then at 4 o'clock, the committal service begins in St George's Chapel, and there will be many staff and ex-staff of the royal household there, and of course the family will be there too. A smaller service than Westminster Abbey, obviously, and that's where Prince Philip's funeral was last year. And at the end of that, one of the Queen's personal touches here, the piper will play the lament. And later in the evening, and this is completely private and completely family, it will be a private interment in the royal vault, and Her Majesty will be buried there alongside Prince Philip and indeed her father, mother and her sister. So those are some of the details for the state funeral on Monday.